Ever wondered how to automate your social media posts? Tired of manual posting and tracking? Well, worry no more, as we've got something that will change the way you handle your social media platforms. This course is designed to take you through the process of creating a social media automation API using Laravel. Laravel, a robust and highly flexible PHP framework, is the perfect tool for this task. We'll learn to schedule posts on Facebook and Instagram using the Facebook Graph API, a powerful tool that allows us to interact directly with data on Facebook. But that's not all. We'll also dive into Facebook Insights, a feature that provides data on your page's performance, including impressions and other valuable metrics. With this knowledge, you'll be able to make informed decisions on the best time and content to post, maximizing your social media impact. Imagine the time and effort you could save with automation, and that's precisely what this course aims to help you achieve. Before we dive in, it's important to ensure you have the right foundation. This course is not for the faint-hearted or the uninitiated. It requires a solid grounding in some key technologies. Firstly, PHP, the server-side scripting language that powers a significant portion of the web. We'll be using it extensively to structure our backend and handle data. Then, Laravel, a popular PHP framework. Laravel simplifies many aspects of web development, providing a clean and elegant syntax that makes PHP development a joy. It's the core of our project, so make sure you're comfortable with it. Lastly, MySQL, the world's most widely used open-source relational database. It's essential for storing and retrieving our data. In essence, these skills are the building blocks for creating our social media automation API. They allow us to structure, build, and manage complex data interactions with ease and efficiency. With these skills in your tool belt, you'll be well prepared to tackle the challenges in this course. Let's get an overview of the exciting journey ahead. This course is structured into 3 comprehensive modules, each designed to unravel a unique aspect of creating a social media automation API using Laravel. Our first module is all about laying the groundwork. We will kickstart this journey by setting up Laravel and creating the API. This module is fundamental to the course as it forms the backbone of our project. We'll delve into the nuances of Laravel, a robust PHP framework, and how we can leverage its features to create our API. By the end of this module, you'll have a solid foundation and a working API, ready to be integrated with social media platforms. Moving on to the second module, we'll shift our focus to scheduling posts for Facebook and Instagram. Here we'll explore how to automate the process of posting on these platforms, using the API we've created. We'll discuss the intricacies of scheduling, ensuring that you understand the process fully. By the end of this module, you'll be adept at automating and scheduling posts, a skill that's invaluable in today's digital world. In the third and final module, we'll dive into the world of Facebook Insights. We'll learn how to retrieve valuable data such as impressions and other metrics. This module will open your eyes to the power of data and how it can be used to optimize social media performance. We'll cover the Facebook Graph API, a tool that allows us to gather these insights and more. By the end of this module, you'll not only be able to automate social media posts, but also understand the impact of these posts. And there you have it, an exciting journey that takes you from setting up Laravel and creating an API, through automating and scheduling social media posts, all the way to gaining valuable insights from your social media activity. By the end of this course, you'll have a fully functional social media automation API at your fingertips. So, why should you invest your time in this course? Well, let's dive right into the benefits. Firstly, you'll be able to save valuable time and effort by automating your social media posting. No longer will you need to manually schedule and post content on Facebook and Instagram. With the skills you'll acquire in this course, you'll be able to build an API that handles all of this for you. Secondly, this course will grant you the ability to tap into Facebook's insights. With this knowledge, you'll be able to make more informed decisions, improving the effectiveness of your social media campaigns. Lastly, the course will enhance your technical skills. You'll deepen your understanding of PHP and Laravel, and you'll gain practical experience in API creation. This will not only make you a more competent developer, but also increase your marketability in the tech industry. This course will not only empower you to automate your social media processes, but will also enhance your technical skills, making you a more versatile developer.
Hey everyone, today we are going to learn how to secure a Laravel API using JWT, and we will use Timon third-party JWT auth library. But first, what is JWT? JSON Web Token is an open standard, RFC 7519. and it represents a compact and self-contained method for securely transmitting information between parties as a JSON object. It authenticates the incoming request and provides an additional security layer to REST API, which is best for security purposes. First, let's add require our package, and I will link the website in the description below. And then after it is installed, let's go to our config app.php and add our providers, and then we need to publish it in our application. After that, we will generate our JWT secret, which is unique for every application. And now we will have to update our user model so it implements JWT. Then we need to go to our auth.php to configure our guards, so we will add the API guard and make its driver as JWT. So now when a user authenticate from an API, it will use JWT, and the provider is users. That means it will check the user model for the authentication. Now let's make our auth controller. So first of all, in the login, we are validating the fields that we want, and then throw an error if it fails or attempt to authenticate the user if it succeeds. If the user credentials are right, we will make a new JWT token and authenticate the user. If not, we will return an error message to the user. Our register function is doing the same things with the validation. And if it's true, we will create a new user and hash the password and store it in the database. The logout destroys the token, making it invalid and make the user log out from the application. The refresh create a new token for the authenticated user. User profile returns the user's info and the create new token returns the info of the token and the info of the authenticated user. Then we need to register our functions in the routes using middleware of API and a prefix of auth. And now let's test our application and see how it works using Postman. But first, we need to make a new database. So let's set the name of our database, and then we go to our PHP, my admin, and create a new database. And then we run the migration command, which is php artisan migrate. And now we have our database ready for testing. Let's run our application using php artisan serve and go to Postman to test it. First, we will put our local host URL, and then our middleware and prefix, and then our fields, so we can create a new user since our database is empty. Okay, let's remove the password confirmation from the password validation. We don't need it. And then we run it again, and user is successfully registered. Now let's try to log in, and for login, we need email and password, and now our access token is generated and we are logged in successfully. Now we take our access token and put inside the authorization in Postman, and we set the type to bearer. And now we are logged in our application using this token. Thank you for watching to the end. If you like this type of content, check my channel for more Laravel content and hit the subscribe button.
So now after we have set up our authentication using JWT, we need to install the Facebook Graph API SDK to post on Facebook, so we will use the composer require Facebook Graph SDK. And then, after the installation process, we need to create our Facebook and Instagram tables so we can add our pages. So first let's make a new migration and let's name it Facebook Pages. And let's make its model using the PHP artisan make model Facebook page command. Now let's make our Facebook Pages table. We will only need the page name and the Facebook page ID, so let's add them into our migrations. and after that let's add them in our Facebook pages model. Now we need to make the same thing for the Instagram pages, so let's first make the Instagram pages migration, and then the Instagram page model. Now let's add the same columns to the Instagram pages table. And then let's go to our Instagram pages model and add the name and ID to the fields. After that we need the Facebook page controller, so let's make a new controller using the PHP artisan make controller command. And then let's dive into that controller and start coding inside of it. First we need the index function, which will give us all the Facebook pages that we have. So let's call the Facebook pages model and then use the paginate method and let's set it to 20. Then if there is Facebook pages we will just return them using the return response JSON, and if there is no Facebook, we will just return a message that there is no Facebook pages. Now for our show function, this function will take the ID parameter and then inside of it, we will call the Facebook pages model and use the find or fail method, which will return 404 if the Facebook page is not found, and then we will return the page that we just found. Next we will make the store function and we will use the request facade parameter inside of it. First we will validate the request that we just got. We need the page name and the ID. They are both required and we need them to be unique. The unique validation will take two arguments. The first one is the table name and the second one is the column name. And then we will create a new Facebook page, and return a response JSON that the page is created. Next we will need the update function, which takes the request and the ID. First we need to validate the request, so let's take the same validation from the store function, but we will remove the unique from it. But first we need to find the Facebook page that we want to update, so we will use the find or fail method, and then we will assign the new values to the Facebook page that we just retrieved, and then we will update it and return a response JSON. And for our last function we will need the destroy function. It will take the ID, and inside of it we will use the find or fail method to get the Facebook page, and then we will delete it and return a response JSON. Now let's make an Instagram page controller using the make controller command. And then we will just copy the Facebook controller code and adjust a few things inside of it. So we will call the Instagram model instead of the Facebook one, and we will edit some messages and validation to make it for the Instagram. Then after we have updated everything, we will go to our API routes and add our new routes. We will make a new route resource, and we will name the first endpoint Facebook and call the Facebook controller class, and then we will make a second root resource for the Instagram endpoint, and call the Instagram controller class inside of it. Now we need to make the tables and models for the Facebook and Instagram posts. Let's start by creating the migrations for the Facebook posts. Let's use the PHP artisan make migrations command, and the PHP artisan make model command to make them. Now inside the Facebook posts migration, first we will need the text of the post and let's make its type string, and we need the post date, let's make it date time. And next we will need the link of the image, because for posting on Facebook and Instagram, we can't upload the image, we just upload the link of that image and Facebook will automatically use it, but it needs to be in a public place. Then we will need the post ID from Facebook, that is the ID of the post that we will get after posting. And then the post link, and the error message if there is any. Let's make those 3 column nullable first. And now we will need an enum column and let's name it as published. This column will take 3 values 0, 1 and 2. The 0 will be that the post is not published yet. 1 that the post is published, and 2 that there is an error publishing the post, and let's make its default 0. Now let's go to our model and add all those fields in the fiable. And after that we need to make the relationship function with the Facebook page, so we will make it a belongs to relationship and we will take the Facebook page ID as a foreign key. But we forgot to add it, so let's go to our migration and the foreign key, and let's name it Facebook page ID. Now let's make the Instagram posts table and model using the same commands. And we will just copy the Facebook migration and model and edit it a little bit. And now we have our tables and models for the Facebook and Instagram posts. Now let's make a new controller and let's call it Plan Facebook Posts Controller, and another one call Plan Instagram Posts Controller. In the Facebook one we will first make an index function and inside of it we will use the Plan Facebook Posts model to get all the Facebook posts and paginate them into 20 posts, and then if there is posts we will return them, and if not we will just return a message. Next we will make a function named store that takes a request object as a parameter. This function is responsible for handling the logic when a post request is made to a specific endpoint. First we will validate the incoming request data using the validate method. It ensures that the request contains the required fields, post_date, text, post_ID_ from Facebook, image_link, and post_link. If any of these fields are missing, the validation will fail. Then we will create a new instance of the plan Facebook posts model and uses the create method to store the data from the request. And then we will return a response JSON with a message, and then we will make a function named destroy that takes an ID parameter. This function is responsible for deleting a Facebook post based on the provided ID. First we will retrieve the Facebook post from the plan Facebook posts model using the find method. It searches for a record with the given ID. If the post is found, we will use the delete method to delete it, and then we will return a message, and if not found we will just return a message that the post was not found. Then we will copy everything and just paste it in the Instagram one, and we will edit it by calling the Instagram model and editing a few messages and fields. I will just add the functions that we need in here and I will explain them. First we made all the functions static because we will only call them inside our Laravel application. Now for our first function, we will get all the Facebook posts that the is published equals 0 or 2, and we need only today's posts, so we will filter it. Then we will initializes the posts array with 2 subarrays, images and links, which will store the post data. Then we will initializes an empty array I to store the post data for each iteration. Then we will assign each element we have, and we will get the ID from Facebook using the relationship that we just made. Then we need to calculate the time difference between the post date and the current time plus 30 minutes. That is because the post needs 20 to 30 minutes to be published on Facebook or Instagram. Now, let's move on to the next part of the code, where we filter and trim the posts based on the time difference. We check if the time difference is greater than 0 or less than -10,800, which represents 3 hours in seconds. If it meets this condition, we skip that iteration using the continue statement. If the time difference condition is not met, we add the post to the images subarray of the posts array. To ensure we only keep the most recent 5 images and links, we use the array slice function to trim the arrays. Finally, If we're working within the Laravel framework, we return the modified posts array. Otherwise, we generate a response containing the array. And for the get Instagram posts we will do the same things. Now for the update functions, first we are finding the post that we want to update, and if it is not found we return a message, and then we accept the data from the request and put inside a variable. Next we have an if statement that checks multiple conditions. Let's go through each condition and understand its significance. The first condition checks if the value of is published is equal to 0. This condition verifies if the Facebook post is not published yet. The second condition checks if the data array contains the key cron error message and if the key is _published is also present in the data array. Additionally, it checks if the value of is published is equal to 2. If all the conditions are met we assign the values that we need and then send a message that the post failed to publish. The second if condition checks if there is a post that had a is published value of 2 and now has been published, and then we will return a message with all the data. After that we will update the database and return the data, and the same thing for the update Instagram post function. Now let's make our commands for posting on Facebook and Instagram. First we will use the PHP artisan make command and let's name it publish Facebook post command, and the same thing for the Instagram. Inside the commands there is two important things we need to see, the signature, and we will see what it does later, and the handle function. The handle function is where we write the code that we want to run when the command is triggered. So let's see what we will write in the handle of the Facebook command. Now for out handle function code, the first line of code calls the get Facebook posts method from the posts cron controller class, passing true as an argument. This method is responsible for retrieving Facebook posts. Moving on, we have an if statement that checks two conditions. The first condition checks if the posts variable has an array key named images and if it is not empty. Similarly, the second condition checks if the posts variable has an array key named links and if it is not empty. Inside the if block, we move on to setting up the Facebook object for the current environment. The code creates a new instance of the Facebook class and assigns it to the variable. It provides the necessary configuration options such as the app ID, app secret, and default_graph_version. You can get the app ID and secret from your Facebook business account as well as the access token. Next we will query to get all the Facebook accounts that are connected to our business account. And then get their page access token as we need it to post. Then we will set up our post with its data, and the image URL will be a Google Drive link, because we want it to be public so that the Facebook Graph API can download the image. Then we will check if we have an access token for the page or not. If not, we will generate new one. And we will check if there is any error to update the post with the errors that we got using the update function that we just created. Then we will set the default access token and make the payload array. Then we will send a post request with the data that we have and the page ID, and we'll check if there is any errors, and then we will get the message from Facebook and we will put it in a post request and update the Facebook post. Then for the link posts we will use the same things, but here we will use the short link controller to make a short link for the image because that is what the Facebook Graph API accepts. And we will make the short link controller later in the video, and we will do the same things for the Instagram handle function. Now let's go to our kernel and register our scheduled functions. First we will get the signature of the file and we have to schedule the command. Inside the command method we will put the signature, and then we will chain the time that we want this command to work in. So let's say every 15 minutes. So now every 15 minutes the handle function will work and Check if there is any Facebook or Instagram posts needs to be published. Now let's make our shorten link controller. We need it to make the image link that we have as a short link because that is what the Graph Facebook API accepts. Let's use the PHP artisan make controller command to make that controller. Now inside of it I will paste the code that we need and explain it. Our first function is for the Facebook one. We will accept the link and the date and then we will the values that we need. After that we will initiate a new curl using the curl init function and then send a request to the API layer API to shorten the function. You can make a new account in the API layer website and take your access token from there. And then we will get the response and put inside an array and return it, and we will do the same things for the Instagram one. Now let's go to our routes and register the plan Facebook posts controller routes and the Instagram routes. Let's use the root resource to do that and let's name our endpoint plan Facebook post and we will chain the only method to it and pass it the index, store and destroy because we only need those functions, and we will do the same for the Instagram one. And now we can make and publish new Facebook posts and Instagram posts using the Facebook Graph API. In Laravel there is something called a notifications table, which is a table already made for notifications. To add it we just need to write the PHP artisan make notifications table command, and there is our notifications table added to the migrations. In the data column we will get the notification message that we will create next, but first we need to make sure that the user model has the notifiable trait. And yes, we have it. Now let's make a new notification using the PHP artisan make notification and let's name it failed post notification. Now inside of it, we need to make a new protected variable and let's call it message, and then we need to add it to our construct function. And then let's update our toArray function and make it to database, because we need to save our notification in the database. Let's delete the toMail function because we don't need it. Then let's edit the via function and make it return database, and then inside the database function, we will just return the message that we will get. Now the message will be saved in the data column in our notifications table. Now let's go to the post cron controller to add the notifications. Let's make a new notification and chain the send method to it. We need to pass it two arguments. The first one is the user that we want to notify, and let's for now make it the authenticated user, and later when we set up the admin we can make it the admin. Next we need a new object of the failed post notification and we will pass it the message that we want, and we need to add the same code to the Instagram one, and let's just edit some variables names that we forgot to edit. And now let's go to our auth controller so that we can send the notification to the user when he logs in. Let's go to the create new token function, and add a new notifications field, and let's use the auth helper to access the user that has just logged in, and next we will chain unread notification to it, which return all the unread notifications of that user. And now every time that user logs in he will get the notifications, and if you want you can make a new controller and make a new function inside of it and use the same method and call it whenever you want, but for now let's make it this way. Now let's make a new controller to retrieve Facebook insights from it, like impression and engagements. Let's use the PHP artisan make controller command and let's name it Facebook Insights Controller. Now inside our controller I will just paste the code to get the insights and I will explain it. First we will make a new variable and call it value to store the value inside of it. Then we will make a new instant from the Facebook object and use the app ID and app secret of your project and then the version. Then we need to get the access token and page ID from our Facebook business account. Every account has a page access token which we can get using the first query. After we retrieve it using the getGraph node and make it an array, we need to use it inside our next query. Our next query is to retrieve the data that we need. First we will use the page ID that we have, and then we will specify the metric, so let's say impression, then we will need the metric value and let's set it to total value. Then we need the data daily, so we set the period to day, and then we will need to specify the from and until, and after that we will pass it the page access token that we got in our previous query. If you see the response that we will get you will be confused because it will return a huge response and you will be overwhelmed with the data. To simplify it, first we will make it into an array, and then we will do a for each loop to get the sum of the days in that period, which is 30 days, and inside the for loop we will specify the path to get the data from, and now if we return the value we will get how many impressions we got in this month. You can use this controller in many ways. You can schedule it to work every month to get the data for the last month and store it inside a table, or you can just make the front end to send you the metrics and the period and you will return the data. Use it in a way that fits your project requirements. And that's it for our project. I hope it was useful and you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to see more Laravel content, and you can check my other projects like the e-commerce one that is popping on your screen. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.